Hi, Charles. My name is Cecilia Fardini. I was born in Argentina, but I'm currently living in London. And I'm very happy to be part of this project. And thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Yeah, it's good to have you, Cecilia, and it has been an awesome time working with you and learning from you as well. What do you do now?
I am currently working as a customer service in aviation, but I was a teacher, an English language teacher for 18 years in Argentina. And that's the reason why I'm working for Noble Missions. I am writing a book with a group of people on ICT and writing the students' book and the teacher's book. And I'm also a content writer and coordinating the content writer members and the graphic designers as well.
Awesome. What do you find most exciting teaching children? Say you taught children for 18 years, and within that 18 years period, I'm sure you have learned so much about teaching. You have worked with children at different categories. But what do you find most exciting teaching children?
I think it has to do with the challenge and the unexpected things that can happen in the classroom. You can prepare the perfect class, and when you get there, it will not happen the way you planned, because we, as teachers, we work with human beings, and things happen to them in the families, even in the school or in the classroom. So it's a challenge to go with the flow and plan things again, or have to adapt to different situations. You can have the perfect class and it's not happening. Yeah, I think it's the challenge that it poses working with teenagers. Mainly my experience is with kids and teenagers, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
You never know what's going to happen with them.
Sure. Okay, but how do you overcome such challenge? So, assuming a teacher is watching you now and wants to learn from you, how are you able to overcome such challenges in a period of 18 years? Because that's almost 2 decades.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
so,
Yes.
so how are we able to overcome those challenges?
Well, Argentina is a developing country, and it's been very challenging to have worked in a place like that, because in most cases you don't have resources in the school. The students don't have resources themselves, so you are expected to educate and teach with no resources at all. And on top of that, you need to put the factor that the kids may have been going through a personal situation. So it's like a mixture of many things. And in most cases, at the beginning, when it was starting, I got back home crying, disappointed, because I could not do what I wanted to do. It's like, I want to do this. I want them to learn this. And then in time, you learn that this is not what I want. I mean, I may have to follow the curriculum, of course, but then it's what they need. So I think the greatest challenge and overcoming it is having developed the ability to adapt to what they need and what I need to teach. Of course, I follow the curriculums, but I swap the attention in their needs and their likes, just to get their attention of what I was teaching. And I learned to be more patient. I think that's the key, to be patient and keep your expectations high. Never lower your expectations. Just be kinder and be nicer to them and be more patient, because they need time. You will get there eventually. You will get there. But yeah, you need to learn to be patient. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I like that a lot. Patience. You talk about Argentina being developing countries and lack of resources and all that. It seems similar with Nigeria, because Nigeria is a developing country and education here is below standard, so to speak, because you find that most schools, especially public schools, don't have the resources they need to be able to impart knowledge in these children. For someone who is aspiring to become a teacher, so I want to be able to draw from your inspiration. You said when you're unable to impart knowledge to these children, you go home crying at the beginning stage. It shows that you have passion for what you were doing. And that's what is lacking these days. People go into teaching because they are not able to get their dream job. So people don't see teaching as their dream job. So they just go into teaching to while away time. As soon as they get a better job, they move ahead. What advice do you have for someone who is currently, say, maybe still in university and aspiring to become a
Yeah.
teacher? So what advice do you have such a person to be able to have that passion to teach?
Well, to be honest, I started studying English when I was 5 years old. So I was almost educated at the same time in Spanish and in English. And I wanted to become an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And I did something in archaeology at university. But then, being Argentina, a developing country, there's no career. There's nothing you can do other than write papers. And if you're lucky, if the government pays for that. So I decided to use the skills I had. I knew I liked talking a lot, and and I knew lots of English. So I decided to pursue a career on teaching because I knew I could be good at it. And I used the good skills that my parents had paid for it for so long that I
Mhm.
learned. So I took advantage of the good things that I had, like talking and being very communicative with things. And I did the teaching training college to become an English teacher.
Mhm.
And the first years were very difficult, as it usually is, because what you learn from the books is the perfect classroom, the perfect situation in a perfect world, which is not where I was born. And then you get to the classroom and you have no chairs.
Mm.
Lucky you if you have a board where you can write. There's no
Ah,
chalk, there's no marker, there's nothing, because public schools, same as in Nigeria, they are not important, unfortunately.
yeah.
And I think that's how you get demotivated teachers as well, because when you study, you think of the ideal thing that you will get there and students will love you and they will do as they are told. And it doesn't work like that. You need to earn the trust, you need to get to know them and get to know what they want. So it's like a process of getting to know each other. And one of the main things that I learned in the long years that I have taught is like sometimes people expect the right thing and the good thing and the correct thing coming from the government or the
Mm-hmm.
headmaster or the headmistress from the school, like it should be. But then if you expect things like that, nothing is going to ever happen, because we
True.
know our reality, your country and my country. We know the way things are. So I had my own tiny box with the duster and the chalk, and I would make photocopies for the students. I would pay it
Wow.
myself, and I would make a big photocopy and cut the activities so every single one would have something. I could not do it all the time because it was very costly, but that was very engaging for them because they saw that I cared, that even though we were in such a poor condition in the school, I did something to make things better, to improve for them.
Mm.
So that was always helping because they saw that I cared and I showed that I was interested in giving something better to them. Of course, you can copy on the board the usual way, but it's tiring. We are in the modern era of technology, and you have none of it. It's absolutely none of it. So using the tiny things that can make a change, on the one side will make the teacher feel better because you will see that the students give you the feedback. Oh, I like today's class. We had this. This is new. This is different. So you feel better, the kids feel better, the relationship goes better.
Mm-hmm.
Behavior, which is a very important issue
Mm-hmm.
where we are from, it gets better. And if you consistently are able to do something just to make the classes better or to
Yeah.
help them in a way that they don't have to be writing for 5 hours, that really, really makes a difference.
Yeah, in everything you have said, I can see pointing down to your own passion to effect change, positive change on the lives of the children. Now, the average person nowadays, or the average teacher, to be specific, may not have
Yeah.
that kind of passion. For them, well, is what the government has provided. That's what I'm using, or is what the school proprietor or proprietress has provided. What I'm working with. Other than that, I'm not going to spend my own money, my own little salary to try and make the environment better for the children. What should be the driving force, or what was driving you? Why were you trying to make sure that these children learn? Is there something you are aspiring that they will become in the future, or something you have seen, or was it for your own benefit or for their own benefit?
Um, well, teaching is always for their benefit. We're not that important. We choose to teach because we want them to be better people, to have
Hmm.
the knowledge. I was always concerned about them having the opportunities that I had and that other kids have, but mainly the kids that go to public schools and in very poor situations, they don't have the same opportunities as
Sure.
others. So I was always trying to help them get to the same opportunities all the time. I think it's a bit contagious because I was not the only teacher like this. I met lots of teachers like me that go the extra mile just for their kids, because you see them talking in English and you see them, they can write something and you see that they have done something much better. But it's always about the big picture of them becoming the future citizens of the world,
Hmm.
and giving them the tools, even though if it's a tiny thing, just giving them the tools to know that they have an option in the future and they can have the same opportunity that everyone else does. But you need to do the extra thing. They saw it in me, they saw it in other teachers, and they were comparing why the other teachers don't do it. Well, they don't have to. I do it because I want to. But then it became contagious because there were some of like me in the school. So we were sharing the extra photocopies and we were telling them, oh, I did this activity. We played a game in the classroom and they liked it.
Hmm.
And why don't you try? So pushing a little bit the
Hmm.
other teachers just to do something else. But that's something very personal. You cannot expect every teacher to be really passionate about what they want, unfortunately.
It's true. That's truly the reality. So there's nothing we
Yeah.
can do about it. But despite this situation, what,
Yeah.
just like a general advice now, and perhaps this may be my last question for you, so I can let you go and rest.
Um, it's so great. It's so great and rewarding to see kids coming to you and acknowledging you for what you're doing, and valuing, giving the value of the effort that you're putting on them. They see it. That's something that the students perceive when one teacher pays attention to them and does things for them and is helpful to them. That really, really helps. I don't know, that's a difficult one. I would say that it's important to always consider the student as the most important thing, consider their choices and their likes, and try something new. If they don't like one thing or one activity doesn't go well, try another one. You can see it as a job. I know lots of teachers that they just do the job, they do what they have to do, and that's it. There's not much engagement. There's nothing wrong on that because it is a job. You can have everyone being passionate about it. But I think that if you do it well and if you do it being responsible and really caring about your job that is teaching, and you do it the best you can, I think that will work. You need to be honest about it. You're working with people. Students are human beings and they are our future. So it is important that you take that seriously. I think that would be the most important advice. Be a teacher, but it is important that you're honest and that you are responsible. You do what you have to do, and that's it. If you don't want to go the extra mile, fine. You're not paying for that. They're not paying you for that. Perfect. But just do your job and be nice to the kids. They will really appreciate it in the future.
What advice will you have for school owners or school
Um,
administrators? So school owners in the case of private school, and administrators in the case of headmistress or headmasters in primary schools, like in Nigeria, where they are not the owners of the school, but they have been employed to manage the school. So, what advice will you have for them to be able to motivate and inspire their teachers despite the lack of relevant resources?
mm, that's a hard one too. I think it's to make sure that they give them the support they need when it comes mainly to behavior, the kids' behavior, and the resources. Um, telling them what things they will count on and what things will not be possible. So they already know beforehand, okay, this is a very poor school, we won't be able to give you this, this, and that, but we
Okay.
can support you on this other thing. If you
Okay.
have a problem with the kids in the classroom, we will be there supporting you. If you say yes, the headmistress in the school, the headmaster, will say yes. Like, get your back. That is very
Yeah.
important. When you
Okay,
have
that's it.
your superiors, headmaster or head teacher,
Mhm.
supporting every decision you've made, that makes a huge difference. Even if you've made a mistake,
Hmm.
that happened to me a few times. I made a mistake, but I had wonderful, wonderful headmaster by that time. He supported me 100% in front of the teachers, so that the problem or the situation was solved. And then he called me on the office and said, what you did was wrong, what you did was not right. You could have done this way. But you know what? That shows that they like the teacher or they are supportive, and that was not demotivating. On the contrary, he was teaching me. Even though I was an
Yeah.
adult, I was
Yeah.
being taught by the authority that was on top of me. But I think that is very important, that there's an agreement in between the teachers and the headmaster and headmistress to support you, and then we have a word on the side. we make sure things are better. But yeah, I think that's the most important thing, that you feel the support from the people you work with.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to tap into your wealth of skills and wealth of experience. And I'm sure everyone who will be watching this will learn a lot, especially the teachers. So we'll put it out there, and anyone and everyone who has the opportunity to watch it, I'm sure they will learn one or two things from it. So thank you very much, Cecilia.
Thank you so much, Charles, for having me here. It's been a pleasure. Always happy to help.
All right. All right, Cecilia. Good night.
A pleasure. Good night.
Good night.